Okay. Right, so socio-economic environment, your socio-economic, so social environment, friends, family, economic, finances wise, right, that environment, okay? So this, like it says, includes people's level of education and literacy as well as income and culture. So your literacy is how well a person can read and write. Literacy affects lifestyle choices. For example, how easy it is to access, read, and understand information about health and contraception. So, um, like for instance, studies show. Such studies show that people with low literacy levels are more likely to smoke cigarettes, which can cause a lung disease. So lack of knowledge and healthy eating can lead to a lifestyle disease. So obviously, if you lack knowledge, like if you don't know of contraceptives, it will lead to bad unhealthy lifestyles, right? So knowledge is power, and that's the truth. And it's also easy to gain knowledge. You can pick up a book, learn something new, and adapt it into your life. But it all links to as well as your literacy. So can you pick up a book? Can you read? Are you able to get a leaflet from a clinic and fill out a form to join a AA group, for instance? So you need literacy. Reading is important. I'm not just saying that because I'm also an English teacher, but reading is important. Okay. That being said, income and poverty. Millions of South Africans are unemployed or have very little income. They live in poverty. This affects lifestyle choices such as diet. Okay, study shows that poorer people buy foods that are high in carbohydrates and fat, such as chips and fat cook. These foods are cheap and provide a lot of energy, but do not contain proteins, vitamins, and minerals. So I was speaking to my class about my one friend who was anemic, and he was at varsity, and he was living now alone because he was living on res, and he knows he's anemic, and he's supposed to get certain amount of vitamins and proteins in order for him to support his body. But because of money, students always say you're living your best broke life. It's it's the truth. So he didn't have sort of money to afford healthier stuff. So he lived off chips, for instance. His diet consisted of mostly slab chips, and because of that, he died. He didn't have enough vitamins to sustain himself. So this is a sad case, and up until recently, I see UJ has like now a feeding scheme that you can take part in to allow you to still get access to healthy meals. And if it's not at your institution, you can also go to a lot of places have like soup kitchens and things like that, where you can go to get help for financial reasons. So good schools are not usually available to low income areas. It's also a very big problem in the country, is that there's a great or large disparity between schools. You'll find like our school you have access to smart boards, printing services, a desk, a chair. Some schools do not. Some schools do not have access to even a desk and a chair, or clean running water, and a flushable toilet. They still use latrine systems, and that for me is a serious issue that needs to be addressed behind that, in that it creates this very huge disparity between these two schools. Let's say both of you come from UGMA, another school comes from a more underpoverished school or lack of resourced school, and you're both going to the working world. You are able to type with a keyboard and mouse, and you know how to type. Someone whose school didn't even have a desk and a chair will not have access to a computer, and they don't know how to type. So chances are for them being or keeping their job is very slim, which then builds back into poverty and creating a vicious cycle that just never ends. So the upliftment of communities is obviously the government is responsible for that. So that needs to be adhered to. And as a citizen of the country, you are able to participate in campaigns to help, volunteer your services, to help with these disparities, right? Yeah. Then culture-wise, culture affects choices around sexual behavior, diet, alcohol. In some cultures, teen pregnancies are accepted. In other cultures, people are expected to wait until they are married before having sex. So culturally will also impact your choices that you make. Like if you are in your culture, you don't allow sex before marriage, you're generally going to wait to have sex, right? And even in marriage, you're going to need to use contraceptives. So you still need this knowledge. And then traditional African diets are low in fat and protein. So, like, for instance, if I think culturally with me, my dad was the chef, right? So he would cook, and he would cook curries and rice and stew and rice and this and rice. Always had rice. My mother, she always used to say, "Ek is moeg van rice and vleis." So she used to say, "I'm tired of just meat and rice, always meat and rice." So culturally, that meant we had a lot of carbs in our diet and big proteins. So, I should probably blame my dad, who I struggle with my weight because he just wanted rice and vleis. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that culturally, you can also pick up risky behaviors or bad lifestyle choices from them as well. And you need to be aware of that and try and change that, right? So like now I cook for myself, and I try and stick to veggies and grill the meat instead of like frying it. Okay, or if you use an air fryer, it's also okay. Very healthy air fryer. Social environment. Our social environment affects lifestyle choices such as substance abuse. So again, I've spoken about this, about your friends and your surroundings and what fosters. So if you grow up seeing these things as normal, you're not going to feel sort of like it's wrong, so to say, because you see it around you. Okay, you know it's wrong, but it's easier to accept it than reject it because it's been around you your whole life. Okay, so I'm going to do the next page in the next video.